Welcome to the Scene Snob interviews with your host, Mick Manhattan. Please like and subscribe to our channel and follow us at the Scene Snob.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Scene Snobs interviews. And today I am joined by two very awesome guests from theconguy.com. I am joined with the Con Guys. Cheeseman and Jim Frye are here, and I am so excited to talk to them about their site, their podcast, everything they have going on. So, guys, welcome to the show. So I appreciate you guys coming on the show, very much so. I do love your site. I've checked out your podcast, especially your live happy hour podcast. I have not checked out the Scare Guy, but now I will, absolutely, after just talking to you about it. But I want to get into it a little bit more. But let's start where any good superhero story starts, from the origin. And I want to tell me, how did the Con Guy come to fruition?
The origin story. There's a short version and a long version. The long version I'll make real short. I used to mow the lawn for my Aunt Marilyn when I was a little kid so I could save up enough money to buy comic books. That's the long version, and I've been a comic book lover my whole entire life. I kind of drifted away during high school when I discovered girls, and then I came back to it later when I'm like, they're too much trouble, so let's come back to comic books. Now, that's not the full truth, but me and Luke, we started the website about 4 years ago, theconguy.com.
And it's got 5 or more now.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, because I think we have posts on our Instagram from like 2015.
Jeez, time just goes by when you're having fun. It's a website all about kind of like what you guys do there, pop culture, fandoms, and comic conventions, all through the lens of like things you can experience, like conventions or movie screenings. Or we also have the Con Guy is mainly about like San Diego Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, which is coming up, Dragon Con, all the big conventions and all the news that comes out of those conventions, how people can meet their favorite people, find out about their favorite shows, just, cool old geeky stuff. And then we started the Scare Guy, which is like the scarier side of the Con Guy, which is kind of like horror conventions and whatnot. So we started the podcast probably about 3 years ago, Cheese. Is that right?
Something like that, yeah. I don't know exact dates. I could find out, though. We should know that.
We've been having fun ever since. What about Luke? Did I miss anything?
Well, kind of like my short, long story, however you call it. For me, it started with the Batman 66, kind of like the shirt Jim's wearing. Me and my dad used to watch the Adam West Batman together. So I really grew up liking Batman a whole lot. And kind of like Jim, I was more into just the girls and playing football. But I was always into movies and stuff. But I always kind of had nerdier parts to myself, but didn't really embrace that because it just came off nerdy and bad in media. And you don't get the girl if you act nerdy. So just kind of kept it to myself. I was a big Jaws and Back to the Future fan, so I'd buy those movies when they came out. And some of the Jaws collectibles I'd even get kind of at a younger age because it was like my mom would grab it for me just because I was always such a big Jaws fan. So I did kind of collect a little bit of stuff here and there growing up. But fast forward years later, I'd known Jim for a while, but he was kind of into this whole Comic-Con thing, which I really knew nothing about, didn't even research, just he ended up taking me to WonderCon one year and kind of experienced it firsthand. Didn't quite know what my niche was there yet because, again, I didn't really grow up like reading comic books, didn't really embrace this whole thing, but was pursuing filmmaking and all that. So seeing kind of panels on filmmaking was cool. And then what really kind of started to connect me more on kind of feeling more like a con goer was going on the convention floor, and I'm seeing nostalgic stuff from my childhood, including kind of some of the action figures, like the Robin from Adam West Batman. Like I ended up rebuying that toy in the box and everything for a pretty affordable price, which is pretty cool because you can find some of these old toys you talk to vendors, you could get probably, I think I got Batman and Robin for like between $30 and $40.
Nice.
Like, and they're like 1989 or 1990, something like that figure. So that kind of tied me kind of into the con scene and kind of like, oh, I could get used to this. And then that same year, I think Jim took me to Comic-Con And then he was just really passionate about it, and he felt like, I want to start a site that kind of focuses on these cons, because it's like you have the Comic-Con site, but it just kind of focuses on WonderCon and Comic-Con. But he's like, I want something that brings all the cons together and get all the news, because I'm just all over the place on the internet. And he wanted to kind of bring what made him excited about things and wanted to learn more about what was going on into one site. So originally he kind of pitched as the Drudge Report of just kind of bringing articles together, but he quickly realized like we should probably do our own content. So we did start doing that, developing our own content, articles, and then that evolved into a podcast. And with our website still always is the main hub, but it's just kind of evolved into a much bigger thing.
And just 2 points of clarification is what, like, Luke told the perfect history of exactly what we did. I guess you would call our site right now, it's the, and there's about 5 or 6 of us involved in the podcast and the site and everything. It's the stuff we get excited about. So we're not necessarily, I guess we don't always cover all the breaking news of everything that's going on. We try to, because we think that we embrace all the fandoms. I don't embrace them all. There's some of them I really don't like, but we embrace as much as we can. But like, for example, you see Luke, he has designed these 2 t-shirts, Batman, Back to the Future. Luke loves those 2 things. So that's kind of what the shirts are going to be right now. It's kind of cool. Like the stuff that we love and the stuff we grew up loving is what the site's about. And it's, at first it was like, let's connect everybody together. You know, we're not going to be able to do that. There's a bunch of sites, your site and other sites out there that are doing a lot of stuff that maybe they do some stuff better than us, but we're definitely fans. We love what we do. We love this stuff. We are ardently against any type of what we call, you know, what everyone calls a toxic fandom, where people just love to hate on each other, and we just hate anything about that. And the second point is we made it sound like we had to choose between having a life with, you know, sports and girls or this. What we have learned in later life is you know, the geeks have inherited the earth. We can do it both. You can do it both. So we have Katie and Danae. They're part of our team as well. And nerdy girls are the best. So
absolutely, I 100% agree with that. And that's an awesome story. And I'm so glad you guys are going strong and doing really well. And I've checked out the Happy Hour show, which is always fun for me when you can get a group of fun, like-minded people together and just kind of rap for a while about it. And that is that show. Like, I've seen quite a few of them. The thing I like about yours is it's not pessimistic in any way. You guys are very upbeat, you're very enthusiastic about what you're talking about. So, you know, anybody who check out their, definitely check out theconguy.com. And make sure you check out Happy Hour. It's a lot of fun. That's what I've checked out so far. I want to check everything out.
The Happy Hour, for those who don't know, we have our weekly shows that we do, but our Happy Hour, we get together once a week. And it's no holds barred. We just kind of chat about everything that's going on that week in the world of conventions and cons and pop culture. Like this week we'll be talking, you know, Batman Day was this past weekend. So we have Adam West himself, back from the dead, is going to be a member of the crew tonight. Actually,
Retro Batman 66.
Retro Batman 66, and he's going to be chatting Batman Day with us. We'll be talking, you know, about the WandaVision trailer, a lot of good stuff, and then just a lot of the news of the week. But it's not real structured. We all grab a drink. We encourage everybody to sit at home when they experience this show, since we're going to have a drink. Enjoy your happy hour and have a good time.
Absolutely.
And it's a new thing that we started doing. So like I don't know when this will air, but it's a new thing we started doing in a way to just engage more with people and con goers, especially since, you know, this world's been a little shaken as far as attending conventions. So we're like, let's have fun with the community. Let's see what, you know, let's bring them into the chat and everything. So because we've done a lot of pre-tape stuff, we've been doing a lot more interviews, but we kind of missed that engagement on the chat. And with this live way we've been doing it and streaming it to Facebook, YouTube, and also I think, is it TikTok are we doing now? Or is, no, it's what's the one, Katie's?
TikTok. No,
it's the other one. It's the gaming one. Gosh, I'm blanking it. The gaming one. Don't hate me.
Twitch.
Yeah, we're streaming to Twitch as well.
But Michael, you guys are doing the same thing, right? You have your weekly live shows.
Yeah, we do, and it's cumbersome. I do enjoy it. Yeah, we've got a Tuesday through Friday. We have live shows, all different formats. One is more of a pop culture movie industry live show on Tuesday nights, and we have our horror cult classics Wednesday, and I have a painting show on. Yeah, no, it's called Rob Paints and Movies. It's very Bob Rossish. Joy of painting.
It's awesome.
Yeah, he paints a movie character every week, and you have whoever guesses who it is gets to pick what he paints next week. So
that's cool.
It's kind of a cool interactive. His wife and he do it, and she'll read off whatever. Once it's picked, she'll read off the movie trivia to that movie that he's painting. So last week, I think he did RoboCop when what's his name starts melting. He did it in that.
Yeah.
So we did Star Trek week a couple of weeks ago. We did the Borg Queen, so like the whole week was Star Trek. So
did he do the thing on the wall behind you?
Which one?
He
did both. Yeah, both of these are him.
Those are great.
It's a lot of fun. I like he's got like a quirky style to him, so I'm definitely into it. I have these two. I have a pumpkin head over there. He did this one behind me because we're part of a
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a movie club that we belong to called Psycho Cinema.
Cool.
And, they're here in Winchester, Virginia, and they show old horror movies, schlock movies, stuff like that on the big screen in the Alamo. So
love it.
Yeah, it's a good time. So like we all kind of get together and do it, and then Friday nights I have a talk show, and I just bring anybody who wants to come on and promote anything, as long as you're willing to have fun, and it's not it's not like a political type show or anything like that. But if you're willing to come on, talk about what you love, promote your stuff. So it's it's good time. So you guys are always welcome. You guys are so much fun.
What? No politics? What fun is that?
No politics. Keep it out of there. Let's talk about the fun stuff that we want to talk about.
That's right.
But I love what you guys are doing too, and that's why I was saying especially with the happy hours, very upbeat. Like I said, enthusiastic. You tell you guys love what you're talking about. I do see a lot where it's the other side of things, where it's like just trash everything. And I'm like, yeah, no, I can't do that. It's 2020. You guys need to stop bringing me.
The thing. Oh, I know. 2020 is bad enough, but like, for example, like, have you seen like how divided and angry people got because the announcements of the Snyder Cut is going to be come out next year on HBO Max, and you would have thought that somebody had killed somebody. The lines that were drawn about like this or this or that. I don't know if I understand that part. I know that back when the newer Star Wars movies were coming out, that people were lining up on their sides of for or against. And granted, on our show we had people who liked and people who didn't like. But at the end of the day, all of us were fans of Star Wars, and we just kept on wanting more Star Wars. So yeah. I think that's the difference. You can have an opinion, and you can definitely say, yeah, this one I like, because I'll tell you, one of the 3 trilogy films that came, there's one, I'm not going to mention it, I wasn't a big fan of, and still haven't seen it again. It was my least favorite of all 9 films of the original canon. And so 11 or 12 if you include like standalones. Yeah. But I'll still go back and watch it, and I still love Star Wars. I love everything about Star Wars. So, and The Mandalorian is so great that I just can't get enough of it.
Yeah, you guys excited for the second season?
October 30th can't come soon enough.
Absolutely. Yes, but, I mean, this is awesome. Like, again, now, like, you guys are normally going to conventions when it's not the apocalypse, of course. You guys are normally going to conventions and kind of covering what's going on there. How many would you say you go to in a normal year?
Jeez. Luke, what do you think?
When things are open, it seems like we've gone to a good bit. I would say about 5 to 6, something like that. Like, we tend to try to do the Long Beaches. We do LA Comic-Con, WonderCon, Comic-Con. We do at least a couple scare conventions, Midsummer Scream, Son of Monster Palooza, Scare LA.
The thing is, there's the 5 of us, that's just me and Luke, but like between the 5 of us, like there's Gallifrey and there's anime conventions, and it's kind of big. And then we have guests on we're kind of like we are based in Hollywood, California, so we're right here on the West Coast. So it's easier for us to hit those West Coast conventions. But we have some of our guest hosts who live in Florida, Ohio, and so we're able to kind of spread out a little bit. I know Tom, he's a big friend of ours, a friend of the program. He conducts some of the panels at Dragon Con, and he goes to he goes to New York Comic Con, which is coming up very, very soon in just a couple of weeks. And so, yeah, we try to hit a bunch of the conventions, but kind of like what you said, most of them are just online this year. And so, that really sucks, but we're trying to find the silver lining in these. And the silver lining is that more people can take part, and there's a lot of content coming at us right now. We just posted an article on theconguy.com of all the can't miss panels from New York Comic Con coming out. They've done 2 rounds of announcements for panels so far. There'll be more to come, and they've got a lot of cool stuff that's going to be happening. So
that's awesome. Yeah, and I'm glad you guys are doing that, because people do need to know where the content is coming from. You're right. Like when you go to the con sites, it is very much just what they're doing, and a lot of them are hard to get around.
Yeah.
So I like that you guys are pulling together, like everything, so that way, and your site is very easy to direct, navigate around.
We appreciate that. Basically, like the reason the site started, and that's what Luke said, like every San Diego Comic-Con, I would peruse there's like a core 6 or 7 sites, and I'd pull all the information to try to find out where to go. And I'm not going to say we are the be-all, end-all site that has every bit of information, but we give information. If you want to go and have a good time and know what you're doing at a convention, check us out. And we don't cover every single Comic-Con because, wow, there's like 200 in the country right now. So we covered the major ones as well as we can. We try to get people who are going, who have been to those conventions, to tell us, give insider clues and tips. And but yeah, we do the best we can to cover it, because we love that stuff. We absolutely love it, and we want everybody else to love it as much as we do.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I miss it too. I try to go as many as I can. I usually end up going to the Monster Mania cons out here in Jersey and
which ones?
Monster Mania Con.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
They have 2 a year. One is in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. I'm from New Jersey, so that's kind of how I knew about it. And then they have one in Maryland, which is only like an hour away from where I am in Virginia. So I try to get to those 2. They have some pretty good lineups. One year they had John Carpenter there. They had a really cool, you can tell I'm a fan. The Thing, they had as many people as they could get together for it to do reunions. So like Wilford Brimley was there. Kundi was there.
God rest his soul.
Yeah. I belong to a group called Outpost31.com. They've been around for a long time. It used to be a chat site. That's how long ago we go back. An AOL chat site, of all things. So we get together and we'll do reunions every time they do a big thing get together. And one year Dean Kundi and Nick Castle just strolled in because they knew the guy who runs it, and they had dinner with us at this Monster Mania.
That's awesome.
I'm like, Jesus, I'm like, this, they're all swarming them, asking them, of course, and you'll appreciate this, Luke. They're all swarming them, asking them about The Thing, and I'm like, I want to talk about Back to the Future. I want to talk about it's Back to the Future or Jurassic Park or something, So it's, these conventions, they're just so much fun. You never know who you're going to run into or ask questions. Get to ask questions.
Yeah, that's awesome. John Carpenter, I would like. It's so cool that you mentioned him. He's my my favorite horror director. Oh my gosh, we just this past Saturday we had had one friend over, and Luke came over, and we watched The Thing again. John Carpenter's classic.
It really is.
Magnum opus. It's hard to like. Halloween is up there as the best of all time, but The Thing, that's his magnum opus. It's so great.
100%. And I will tell you, we were talking about, because we did this thing called Thing Fest every year, where we get together and watch the movie. And then for the 40th anniversary, I know they're going to do one, and I believe they had said it's going to be Orlando or Los Angeles.
We got to do it.
I lived in Los Angeles for a while, so if they do LA, I'm all about it. I want to go.
Yeah. They do Orlando will be there. Like Orlando, I used to live in Orlando. That's my second home. I love Orlando.
I lived in Winter Park for a little while too.
I worked in Winter Park. No way.
Please tell me you didn't work at Full Sail.
No, I didn't. I worked at it's a place called World. I know Full Sail well. I worked at World Publications, the magazine company.
Yeah, no, I know. And you guys put out a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But I went to Full Sail. That's why I was.
Oh, that's cool.
It's the best film school I guess I could get into, but they accept everyone. So no, it was a good school. I can't put
cool. It's a good school.
No, but yeah, so they're going to be doing their own convention for the 40th, and the word is they may get Kurt Russell and John Carpenter to be there. And if the guys who are talking about it, who run it, I trust them to be able to do it because they are friends with the guys. So that would be awesome. So if it happens, I will make sure you guys know about it. So the con guys will definitely be there.
And we'll be hearing about you sitting at a table with Kurt Russell, enjoying a nice bottle of his wine probably after that one.
There's absolutely no way I'm not going to, because I already told the guys, because they're writing books for it and stuff like that, and I was like, you guys know I'll give you all the free publicity you want, right? As long as I can sit at these tables.
I'm telling you, the way to Kurt Russell's heart, like Luke just said, you talk about his wine, you serve his wine, that's his baby. I interviewed him one time, and all he wanted to talk about was his wine. It was hard to get him to talk about anything else.
Yeah, I need to try it. That's for sure. I'd rather try that than watch the Santa Chronicles again. I have some kids, so they'll keep me going with that stuff. But yeah, guys. So I want to hear what are a couple of your favorite con moments? It can be anything. It doesn't have to be anybody you met or in particular, or just a moment that you really love from past cons.
Cheeseman, you go first.
Well, yeah, we've been asked this one a few times recently, and it's just hard to not include kind of one of the. Well, actually, this one I haven't mentioned was kind of pretty cool. Is that I got to go to we often talk about sometimes these smaller conventions are, more exciting sometimes if you get these kind of niche panels that you're more excited about. And for me, like I mentioned earlier, I was a big fan of Batman 66, and I think it might have been during Los Angeles Comic-Con, but they did basically a panel with Adam West and Burt Ward, before Adam West passed, and it was a smaller type room where they did kind of a Q&A. I think they were promoting the animated film that they did where they voiced it and they kind of animated their characters, but it was really cool to be in that kind of smaller room, be up close and kind of just see them like that. And then even at another convention I was at, Burt Ward was there too, and my friend Isaac Woodby, who has a company called Monster Truck Ninja, had animated a lot of Batman dancing type stuff, and he ended up asking a question to Burt Ward and ended up going up to him at the end. So I got to meet Burt Ward with my friend and then also get a picture with him. So kind of meeting Burt Ward where it all kind of started for me was definitely kind of one of those top moments. Nice. And I also mentioned earlier, Son of Monster Palooza. They did a Terminator 2 panel there, which I'm a gigantic Terminator 2 fan. I had the double box set as a kid, that I had back when VHSs were a thing. And got to meet Robert Patrick and had him sign something I have actually up there. And so got to meet Edward Furlong, just kind of went up and said hey to him and talked to some of the other cast members. And again, it was a smaller panel, didn't have to wait in a gigantic line to get in, got in, got to see it. It was just amazing to kind of be in those smaller rooms and get those kind of special Q&As that you'll never forget. Yeah. And then just one more on a larger scale is, the Hall H iconic Comic-Con type thing. Both me and Jim got to attend and got inside and got to do some of the Marvel panels, but there was also the big Star Wars one where they brought the whole cast out. And then they did something at the end where they basically on the way out, they gave you all lightsabers and they're like, we have a special party we're taking you to. So back right on the water, they lit off fire.
Wait. Stop. No, build it up a little bit. So we're sitting in the panel. Chris Hardwick is facilitating the panel. and it's me and Luke are sitting right up next to the stage. All the Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford are all out on stage with J.J. Abrams and all the new cast, which we hadn't really met yet, and they're all out on stage. And we're sitting there, and Chris Hardwick goes, "Hey, guys, before you leave, we're at the end now. I got one thing. Everybody, stand up. Stand up. Yeah, stand up. Now, see these stormtroopers here? Follow them out behind the convention center." Now, Luke, you can take it from there. Sorry.
So basically, yeah, we got these lightsabers. Came with this badge thing you wore that you got a free drink and free food out of. So it was like this little festival that they did for you. And then they had an orchestra that played the John Williams score to fireworks.
Over
but
the
then
band.
what we didn't know is that there was another panel right after. So poor Kevin Smith, who has this gigantic Hall H panel, was right after the Star Wars thing. And they basically cleared the whole hall almost entirely, leaving him in this room. I don't know how many ended up showing up, but which he
was empty.
would like to be at himself, being a gigantic Star Wars fan. But it was so iconic. But poor Kevin Smith, hopefully he just like left his early and got to see the fireworks.
Kevin Smith shows up to an empty Hall H, which holds 6,500 people. So he was like, "Hey, what's going on?" But one of my best moments, also a Star Wars related moment. Luke and I are screenwriters. We're screenwriting partners, and like I became a screenwriter like so many of my generation because Star Wars blew me away, and I wanted to create films like that. But I was working for I was writing a couple of articles for a magazine, and I was able to attend the 2015 D23 Expo that Disney does their own convention with all the worlds of Disney show up. And I was able to, one of the publicists, I was like, could we they had a big event happening where they were going to recognize some of the stars from Star Wars. And I was like, oh, if there's any way I could like talk to anybody, that'd be great. So they took me down to the green room. We're waiting. Sorry, we're about to start this big, they call it the Disney Legend ceremony. I said, oh wait, we can fit one person in. They came and grabbed me. I didn't know who I was going to talk to. They pushed me in the room. And there I am with George Lucas. And I met him face to face, and he reaches his hand out and he introduces himself and says, "Hey, let's go sit down on the couch and talk for a few minutes." And it was like the biggest moment of any of my conventions. I have a picture of it. I almost forgot, but I was having tears in my eyes, and he just knew that like, wow, I'm about to hyperventilate and meeting my cinema idol here. And it was like one of those moments that I'll never forget. I can wait in line for every panel I ever want to see and whatever, but I got to meet George Lucas, and we talked probably no more than 7 or 8 minutes, but it was the best 7 or 8 minutes yet, and it was fantastic.
You also got to talk to Mark Hamill, too, at one of the conventions as well, didn't you, in person?
Oh, yeah, it was the same convention maybe 2 years later, and we were trying to do a follow-up on the next Star Wars movie, and Mark Hamill, as you know, Mark Hamill's very vociferous. He doesn't know how to keep a conversation short. So I was scheduled to talk with him, but he went long and long, thousands of people, and they finally shoved him backstage, and they said, "Jim, you just have to go backstage." So we went backstage, and there sits Mark Hamill, and they gave us 2 chairs sitting right next to each other, and I'm like, man, this is so great. And the thing, because like, and he started talking, then he would go on for like 20 minutes, and I'm like, "Mr. Hamill," he goes, "Oh, you probably want to ask some questions, don't you?" I'm like, "Yeah, this is part of the interview." He's great. I love talking to those guys.
That's amazing. Those are some great stories, and I love when stuff like that happens. But I gotta ask too, what are some of your favorite gets? Like, what are some of those collectibles that you got that it was just as soon as you saw it, it's like the Ark of the Covenant. Like you got the thing that you wanted most.
Yeah, we may both just disappear from screen for.
I'm grabbing mine right now.
Hold on, please. By all means, go right ahead. This is the fun part.
So, when I was a kid, when I used to, I said how I used to mow my aunt's lawn so I could get enough money to buy comic books. I had a subscription to this weird comic book line from Marvel called the Micronauts because I collected the Micronauts as a kid. 2 or 3 years ago at San Diego Comic-Con, they came back with the Micronauts from my childhood.
Yes.
So this was hard to get. It was really hard to get. But because I was actually covering a panel for probably the website or something, and you had to be in this line. So my friend Greg, God bless Greg's soul, he showed up and waited for hours in that line, and he was able to get this for me. This is like, I haven't even taken it out of the box yet. I will eventually. I'm one of those guys that I collect stuff, but I like to take things out. And my other one was this right here. I'm a big Creature from the Black Lagoon fan. And this right here was only like $10, but Super 7 had set up a special pop-up store at San Diego Comic-Con, like way down, blocks away, down in the Gaslamp District, and I knew that I was going to get this. So these are two of my favorite gifts that are close enough for me to grab. That's for sure.
That's
Luke, get up here, Luke.
I can't wait to see what
I
you
just
got.
keep thinking of more and more things here. I did mention this earlier. This was kind of the start of it all for me at the first convention I went to.
That's awesome. That's
Rebought these. Very good condition, as you can see, especially that Robin. I had this one as a kid.
Nice.
And I also mentioned this one as well. So this Robert Patrick. I bought this at another convention, but I already had this and so I brought this to that convention. He actually signed it and had a funny little engagement with him. He was
Is that the movie Maniacs version?
What's that?
Is that the movie Maniacs, the Todd McFarlane figures?
Yeah, it's definitely McFarlane. Oh, yep, totally. Yeah,
I collect all of them. I don't have the two, but I have all of the horror figures.
Yeah,
that's awesome. They're so beautiful.
Yeah, because at first I was wondering, should I open it? Because I got it at a decent price, but then now that I got it signed like that, I'm like, nah, I'm keeping it in the box, because that's always kind of the debate of what you do with that. Yeah. And you were talking about him earlier, Nick Castle. I got to meet him, got his signature, which is really cool. But I would say probably the most money I ever probably spent at a convention was on some screen prints I got. There was these really cool DeLorean screen prints that I have downstairs. But I do have my 1966 Batmobile, if I could put this on the screen.
That's awesome. That is fantastic.
Right. That's cool.
It looks amazing under a black light. So I got the 2 DeLoreans, got that one, and I bought a 4th one. I spent so much money. I probably spent a couple $100 or more. But I bought basically the cantina with all these sci-fi characters. And, it even had, like the creature from The Thing. It even had Kurt Russell in there. Just a whole mix of just anything from like WALL-E to
it's the Star Wars cantina with space creatures from the last 40 years from all different movies. It's an awesome shot. Awesome.
Yeah, and they look really good under black lights as well.
I've got one more, and this one, sometimes it's not a matter of how much you spend. It's a matter of how much you have to hunt for something. So the very first comic book I ever owned in my entire life, I bought it at a dime store in 1979. I'm an old guy, everybody. So I bought it in 1979. It was The Avengers number 186. I remember it. Scarlet Witch was on the cover. And I bought that one comic book. I had it all these years. I never saw, and it was to be continued. I never saw part 2. That comic book is lost to the ages. I don't know where it went, sadly. However, I was able to relocate that exact issue at San Diego. No, this is at WonderCon, that exact issue. But not only that, I finally got to see, wait. Is it here? Yeah. Finally got to see how the story ended. It was great. So
amazing.
Stuff like that is what I love going to these conventions about.
That's so much fun. That's some really cool stuff you guys have. Like, I can't even imagine. And it's always fun, like when you get those, like you pick up those items, like the things that you just see like off in the distance, and you got to run to it. Like that's just how nobody's going against you. You're not going. Yeah.
I know.
That's fantastic. I almost wore my Godzilla for President T-shirt today too.
Yes, all time. Him and the Gill Man from Creature of the Black Lagoon. I love those guys.
Oh, the Gill Man's great. I know these aren't gets, but I got a whole line. It's I forget. Ugly Mugs made them. They're an Etsy store.
I love it.
Yeah.
Nice.
I got all of them. I got all the Universal Monsters.
That's cool.
They do pint glasses, shot glasses, stuff like that, and it's just a lot of fun. And I really enjoy. Oh no, I'm sorry. That was Merch Massacre made those. Ugly Mugs makes some of the other stuff I get. But yeah, I'm a big Gilman fan myself. But yeah, that's got to be, just going to these conventions. How often do you get to, for the horror side? I have to ask, how out in LA? I remember Monster Palooza. That was in Burbank, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's Monster Palooza, Son of Monster Palooza. They have a few film festivals like the Hollywood Horror Screen Fest is getting ready to start up at a couple of the area drive-ins. I just found out today, which is kind of cool. So, but like
that's very cool.
Spooky Empire in Orlando is one I've been wanting to hit.
That's a good one.
Yeah, Jake, who is a friend of Luke's growing up, he's one of our correspondents in Ohio. He hits Horror Hound Weekend for us over there in the Midwest. Nice. We go to, you mentioned Midsummer Scream, which is down in Long Beach, Scare LA, which is up in Los Angeles. Like Los Angeles, because of it being the center of the movie industry, it has so many prosthetic makeup and horror specialists and things that people who make horror movies. So there's a lot of like smaller conventions that pop up around. Like there's a store called, it's like a great big mail order Halloween store, but every year they have, it's called the Spook Show, which is they have it in April. It kicks off, what we like to say, it kicks off the Halloween season, which starts in April, because April is, what is it, Luke? What's the holiday?
Say it again.
What's the holiday in April?
April Fool's Day.
That you always like to celebrate? No, halfway to Halloween. It comes up in April.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what do you guys have plans going on with October around the corner? I know New York Comic Con. I was almost called a Big Apple Comic Con. But yeah, you have a New York Comic Con coming up. But are you doing anything special for Halloween with the Scare Guy or stuff like that?
We're hoping to do more shows with some horror guests, and unrelated to Halloween, we'd maybe like to do some Back to the Future type shows if we could possibly get some guests for that. But
starting what date? October 21 and going through October 26. Michael, do you know what those dates are?
Oh yeah, 100% know those dates. Actually, funny story, real quick. I met my wife in 2014, and we got engaged in at the beginning of 2015, and I was gunning for either October 21st or October 26th for our wedding. Like she was like, "No, it's too soon. We just got engaged," and I'm like, "Yeah, but it's 2015, and we need to get this done." I have finally and then I was like, November 12th. I was like throwing November 5th, whatever we could do. But we finally got November 13th, which isn't from 2015, but it was the first day.
And the Cubs won the World Series in 2016, so they weren't far off either, Not
at all. So, I'd be very excited to see what you guys do for that. That's a great week to choose for.
But like Luke was talking, go ahead, Luke.
Did you say it ended up being a certain day that meant something?
Well, it was November 13th, which is the day at the at the end of Back to the Future 2, beginning of Back to the Future 3. So,
perfect.
Is that when Doc got hit with the lightning bolt?
Yes. Well, no, that was November 12th. Remember, the next day they woke up and it was November.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's a transition, like a wedding. So I mean, it works, I think.
Yeah, we had November 12th was the rehearsal dinner and stuff. So I'll
That's really cool. I love that. But the thing is, we would love to do some cool Halloween themed shows coming up in October. So we're more on the scareguy.com. We'd like to kind of do some throwbacks to some of the classic franchises. And then Luke just recently, for example, put together a really cool 10-episode package that we just released during Shark Week this year. Luke, tell them about that real quick.
Yeah, so started with me just looking to get Carl Gottlieb for Shark Week, but I ended up getting
the writer of Jaws.
What's that?
Carl Gottlieb's the writer of Jaws.
Yeah, the writer of Jaws. But yeah, for those of you that don't know. But anyways, so from that I ended up getting a lot more guests by talking to his publicist and some other people. And I'd actually met Jeffrey Kramer, who played Hendrix, at a different convention. He was at the Halloween 40 convention and got his contact. So I was able to put together a big thing. I got, with Carl Gottlieb, the writer of Jaws, with Joe Alves, who's a production designer. Jeffrey Kramer, who was Deputy Hendrix, and then Jeffrey Voorhees, who was Alex Kidner. That was pretty cool. And we did the interview with him. He was on the beach that he died. So it's kind of a rare, cool thing. And I think the audience really like that one. It's probably our highest viewed currently.
Yeah.
And got some other people like that were there growing up. The guy who was known as Wardy on set, who actually was the guy who painted the shark. His son, his stepson, who we call Hambone. His name is David Hamblin, but I'm not sure if you talked to him before, but he was quite a character. He was actually one of the kids there in the background on set, but and it lived in Martha's Vineyard, so gave a very kind of raw, uncensored, unrated version of it, and it's just hilarious.
Not for young ears.
Yeah. And we actually talked to Murray Hamilton's son, David Hamilton. So that's our last one. We haven't quite put out yet, but
Greg Nicotero,
we talked to him as well. It's from a previous interview we did on Creep Show, but we kind of repurposed it, and it was awesome because he restored the only remaining Bruce that was in a junkyard. So that's hopefully going to be in a museum at the end of the year if it's open. It's sitting there waiting for us. Really hoping to get in there because he said it's just like unbelievable in person when you get to see the shark there. And
he restored it for the Academy of Arts and Sciences Museum.
That's amazing. That would be fantastic to see. Please take pictures.
Yeah, so Luke put together this cool package, these 10 episodes, and we have one more to drop, but it was for Shark Week. And so we hope to do something similar for Back to the Future Week, a little bit smaller. And I want to do something for some of the my favorite Halloween movies as well.
And you'd appreciate this as well. We got Kevin Pike on there, who's one of the main people that created the DeLorean and everything. So he got a start on Jaws and told us how basically that kind of ended up leading to his career, which led to like Back to the Future and all these amazing things that he worked on. So we didn't get a whole lot of time to talk about Back to the Future. I'm hoping to get him back. But that was a really amazing interview that I think you'd really appreciate.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Oh my God, this is gonna be fantastic! I can't wait to check these out. And yeah, Back to the Future Week. That's perfect timing. It's perfect, right there. I love that you're going that week in October. It works. What you should do is you should start on the 21st, and then do one on the 26th, and then pick up on the 5th.
We can do that.
We'll see how many we get. Yeah.
But I love it. That's fantastic, and it's so exciting to talk to people who are this enthusiastic about the geek world. Definitely, and I love what you guys are doing. Did you? I don't know if you guys are a fan of Joe Bob Briggs.
Yeah, I watched some of them. Yeah,
you could see I am. Yeah, he just put out today. They're doing out by you guys, Joe Bob's Haunted Drive-In Festival. So,
oh wow! Wait. So, did he talk about it? Is he going to talk about it on Shudder? Maybe, hopefully.
Well, I can send you the link for it if you want. I'll send it over to you. What it is anybody can submit. It's 100% free. Anybody can submit their horror short films, and they will be shown at the drive-ins there in Southern California, and he will host it. So he will and such. So that would be really cool event, I'm sure. And they'll have like people dressed up, like going up to the cars and stuff like that.
That is great. The thing is, because we were like me and Luke were talking, and you were mentioning, Michael, what do we have planned for Halloween? Halloween's kind of like we have to save it this year, because we can't do it like we've always done it. It's we can't get in big groups of people. So what do we do to have it, to let it get saved? A lot of people around the country are having like drive-through experiences, drive-through haunted experiences. Hopefully nobody gets run over or killed from these things. I know that like on our Instagram, the scareguy.com, we're going to be featuring, we just did a media preview in Orlando. Some of our guys in Orlando just experienced one, the Scream and Stream, which is really cool. A lot of people from Universal's Halloween Horror Nights are involved with it because, they're shut down this year as well. But I love the fact that they're doing a drive-in. Like, I love the fact that drive-in theaters, because of the COVID outbreak, have had a resurgence this year. It's the only place to see movies for first run. Drive-in theaters, churches are holding events at drive-in theaters, and now Joe Bob's he's going to be at the drive-in theater with a haunted festival. That makes me so happy.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time. I wish I could be out there for it, but on any other year, I'd probably fly out for it. But I think I'll stay home during the apocalypse. Stay out of planes, definitely, for sure. As I like.
No, what else is going to happen? Nope, I'm not going to ask that question.
No, yeah, please don't. We're only a few months out. Let's leave it safe. But guys, I really had such a great time talking to you. I would love to have you back anytime you guys want to come on and talk.
Yeah.
It's such a fun time.
And vice versa, we got to get you on the show, man. We got to get you on the show get you on the Scare Guys show. Let's talk The Thing. I want to talk The Thing a little bit more in detail with you on the Scare Guys show. That would be a lot of fun.
I am always up for any talk in horror movies, but definitely The Thing for sure. They're playing it. We have an Alamo Draft House here in town. They're playing it on the big screen again. They did it back in March when everything started. And then I got to see it right there.
Are your movie theaters open there?
Yeah, the Alamo Draft House opened up. They were the first one in the country out of all the Alamos. And before any AMCs or anything else, they opened up in July 3rd was their first day open. So
we're here in Los Angeles. None of our indoor movie theaters are yet open. We can go down to Orange County, I think, and San Diego area. Some of those are open. Or we can drive to Vegas. Yeah, we still haven't seen Tenet. I haven't seen it yet because no theaters here are open. I'm really looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, I really want to see it too. I have not seen that yet. They've been showing too many classics, and we have a drive-in here too, so I've been going to that as well. So I kind of get caught up in those classics, and I keep going. But I did see a few. I saw Unhinged.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, definitely not. They're actually doing Back to the Future here at the trilogy at the drive-in here.
Oh my gosh.
They might be doing
cool.
it by you guys too. So any drive-ins by you, I would look into it because supposedly it's going to be out there.
Yeah.
For all the drive-ins.
Especially part 3, the fact that they have a scene at a drive-in.
Yep.
That'd be awesome. Out of nowhere, a DeLorean just comes rolling through.
I just watched that with my 8-year-old the other day.
Oh, we did too. We watched this past weekend.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it was on Sci-Fi, right?
It was, but we came in late. Like another friend was watching it. We were in wine country, and they'd watched half the movie, and it was like almost over. But I had it on Movies Anywhere, so I just played it on the hotel. I connected my computer to the TV, and we ended up watching the whole movie.
Very nice.
What else are you going to do in wine country at nighttime, you know?
Under the stars, just enjoy it. But I want to kind of end things on like a fun note. I want to ask, let's take Back to the Future and Jaws out of it.
I have nothing to talk about then.
Give me your top 5 remote droppers. If it's on TV, you're dropping the remote right there. It doesn't matter where it is in the movie, and you have to watch it. Oh, gosh.
All right.
I'm gonna have to.
Mine are.
I'll have to take T2 out too. I gotta hear. I know those are your top.
Anyway, let's do this. Let's even remove Star Wars because that's the biggie that I was watching. Lost Boys, 1987. Poltergeist, 1982. Here's one for you. Adventures in Babysitting, 1987. I love that movie. It's so fun. Luke, are you going to say – wait, I've got 3. I'll let Luke go. Oh.
I've got 4 so far that I've written down quickly. I'm still thinking. But I'll throw a couple out there. Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Nice.
Definitely. Probably no surprise with the Jaws and the Back to the Future thing. The Dark Knight, Nolan's – just with Ledger's performance on that, it's just like so engaging. You just can't like not watch it. E.T.'s a very special movie to me as well. Another Spielberg classic, but I don't know. It's just one of those movies that just it never grows old. Like it ages very well and just gets better and better. And it's just so heartfelt and shot well all the way through. And
not the same summer as Poltergeist.
Yeah.
It was a good summer, 1982.
And The Thing.
Yeah, The Thing was that year.
And another one that I'm just a strange sucker for when it's like on TV, I just can't like not watch it. Maybe one of the biggest ones, and it's not even like one of my favorite movies, but I just never get sick of it, is Point Break.
Nice. Very good one.
It's just something about it. You just like have to, I don't know. I love it.
My last 2, anything with Godzilla. Anything. I'll even watch the 1998 one. I'll watch anything with Godzilla. I know. And then the original 1978 Halloween. If that's on, I will watch it anytime, anywhere. I will not watch the Rob Zombie versions anytime, anywhere. So that's a hard line in the sand I'm drawing there.
Well, you know what? Because you guys had so many good, cool choices for movies, and actually, I don't think any of those movies have been mentioned by anybody I've asked that question to.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean, not that they're not favorites, but I I've gotten The Princess Bride, I've got Shawshank Redemption, I've gotten a lot of different ones. But although I got a lot of Jaws, but I took Jaws out of this one, so it's not as fair. But
Princess Bride, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah.
And that's definitely a favorite of most people. But I got to ask, what TV show right now are you guys watching? New show that everybody should be checking out?
Gosh. Yeah, that's a hard one.
I will say one that's coming up that I'm really looking forward to, that everybody should watch, and they need to watch season 1. Oh wait, and I do have one current too.
Wait, no, pick one, because you don't take mine.
Okay, why don't you just go first, and I'll see if you say it, because I have 2 things I could talk about.
I know what you're going to say, and I'm going to steal it from you. Cobra Kai.
No.
Okay, Cobra Kai, which was seasons 1 and 2 were on YouTube. It's now on Netflix, and everybody is rediscovering it. It's one of the best shows to come out in the past couple of years. The new season supposedly is coming out early spring. So if you're not yet watching Cobra Kai, the return of the Karate Kid, and it's the series where we finally find out that the Karate Kid really was a doofhead, and Johnny was the good guy.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. It's up to you.
Or vice versa.
Yeah.
That's
I would
Luke.
say, and I need to get back on it because I've only watched the first episode so far, is The Boys.
Oh, yes.
It's so just like entertaining, messed up, but also feeds the like superhero kind of lover in us, but takes like the dark side view of it. And it's just so kind of entertaining, macho in some ways, and just kind of sometimes pushes the line, but it's just so just like entertaining. I really enjoyed season 1. I've just started kind of the season 2, but it's just, yeah. It's probably not for everybody. It may kind of, I don't know, but
I really enjoyed it.
I really highly recommend it.
Well, if I can give you guys 2 recommendations, if you're not watching them.
Yeah. Got my pen.
Check out Lovecraft Country.
I heard about that, yeah.
It's based on a graphic novel, and it sticks fairly close to it, so I think you'll enjoy that. And a movie, because you guys love Jaws, because you love Spielbergian movies, because you love those fun, heartfelt movies, check out a movie called Cosmos. It was made by two brothers in the UK, only them. They were their own crew with the 3 actors. It's a fantastic movie, a good send-up to Spielberg, and those types of good, heartfelt movies. I sponsored a film festival that just happened a couple weeks ago, and it was like the movie, because we've interviewed them and we love the movie so much. They made it the movie choice for that weekend. But I think it's available on like Hulu or Amazon Prime and such. So I think you really enjoy it.
Cool.
Yeah, they made it for like...
Yeah, I look forward to seeing that.
They made it over 5 years for $6,000, and it looks like it could be, up on IMAX. That's how beautiful they shot it. So, and if you guys are interested in it, let me know. I'm more than happy to put you in touch with the guys if you want to interview them.
I love hearing about independent filmmakers making good films like that. Like me and Luke were talking recently, and like we did an interview last week with a new independent horror film coming out, and I tell you what, it looks really interesting, and there's something to be said about the heart of horror lies with the independent filmmaker, rather than studio productions that have all the money in the world to throw at special effects, but then they bury the good stories. I love the independent films that have come out.
Well, this is not a horror. This is like a sci-fi-esque, but actually they did NASA videos for the longest time, the 2 brothers. So they did this movie with the science being very sound. So like, scientists could watch this, or an astrophysicist or something, and say, okay, wow, this is on point. All the technology is real and everything, but they made it, like I said, heartfelt, a story of friendship, and there's some cool adventure to it too.
Cool.
Very Goonies type feel or something like that,
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys enjoy it, please let me know. I'd love to know what you recommend, what you guys feel about it.
Cool.
Yeah,
I'll watch that.
I had such a great time. You guys, I love talking to people who especially know more than I do because I get to learn. That's what I'm all about.
Well, I wouldn't say that so much. Maybe we're just louder.
No. I mean, especially like with the convention scene, like I try to get out as much as I can, but I definitely don't know, the whole scene or anything like that. And I love hearing more about it. And your stories are fantastic. Everything has just been great. And I love your show, Happy Hour, and I'm going to check out everything else, especially the Scare Guy. So I'm definitely into it. And I'd love to have you guys back on anytime.
Too.
Yeah, sounds great.
So until next time, do you have anything you want to plug? Where can we follow you on social media, things like that? This will
I'll
be
give you the
tomorrow,
website
right?
and then Awesome. Find us at theconguy.com. That's real simple, theconguy.com, or thescareguy.com, which is also linked to the Con Guy. Luke, can you give them the social media spots?
Yeah, you can also look us up on Twitter at theconguy.dotcom. So we had to spell it the .com because the Con Guy didn't exist on that one. So theconguy.com.
Somebody else got it.
But on the other ones, it's just the Scare Guy and the Con Guy on like Instagram, and
Nice.
not sure if we have the handles on Facebook or not, but everything else
Yeah, it's on Facebook,
should be.
I will-
Instagram,
And you can, of course,
Facebook,
always,
and YouTube.
absolutely. And of course, I follow you guys everywhere, so I will make sure that everything is in the descriptions. You can follow, check out the websites. It's just so much fun. And so check out the Con Guy and the Scare Guy. Everything is linked in the descriptions. And your next show is tonight, you said. So since this will be up tomorrow, go back and check out Happy Hour, which will be up later. And I will be
Yeah,
watching.
it'll be up all week.
I can't wait. So I'm very excited about that. And guys, thank you so much. Really, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing with me.
Thank you, Michael. This has been so much fun. Anytime.
Awesome. Yeah, and again, guys, it's always fun for me to be able to talk to so many interesting people. Thank you for watching, everybody. Remember to follow at The Scene Snob and hit the subscribe button for here on the YouTube channel if you're watching, or hit the subscribe button. I love that shirt. I love both of those shirts. We do not have fun shirts at The Scene Snobs. Not yet. Maybe one day.
Dobby.
But we'll get there.
With the Thing logo.
Yes, I love it. But all right, until next time, everybody, I am The Scene Snob, Mick Manhattan, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.